Hey everybody, MichaelBtheGameGenie here. Now in today's video we're talking about Arcade1Up potentially making some big changes to their product lines based off a survey they sent out to fans and subscribers early last week. We'll tell you more about it right after this. So that's right guys, today we're going to be dissecting the survey Arcade1Up sent out early last week and seeing if it indicates a major change is coming to Arcade1Up's current product lines. First of all, I want to say thank you so much for everybody checking out the video. Guys, I always appreciate your support, and if you're new to the channel, like what you see, go ahead, subscribe, click the bell for notifications, and all that YouTube stuff. So before we get started, I'd like to say a huge thank you to today's video sponsor, the Ridge wallets, more specifically, the Ridge key cases, the keychain rebuilt. Live more, carry less. So if you guys are tired of traditional keychains with the keys going everywhere, always hard to find the key that you want, jingle jangling in your pocket, feeling uncomfortable, and always the chance of a key sticking out and sticking into your leg, you may be looking for something a little bit more simplistic, and the Ridge key case might be the right fit for you. So as you guys can see here, I have the Forged Ember key case, and it is absolutely beautiful. I love its compact design, making sure it's comfortable in my pocket. Its switchblade-like mechanism to pull the keys out. Always make sure nothing's going to jab into my leg, and I can find exactly what I need when I need it. And most importantly, its secure screw-in design will make sure no keys will ever get lost off flimsy key rings. Not to mention, if you already have a Ridge wallet, the Ridge key case is a great companion piece. So guys, if you're interested in picking up a Ridge key case, I've got a link here in the video. It's going to be in the description down below. Use coupon code MichaelB to save 10%. Ridge key cases, I'm a big fan of their products. Check them out. So guys, last week was obviously a very busy week for Arcade1Up. We had the American Red Cross charity sale happening in California. I myself took part. A lot of people were picking up cabs left, right, and center. On top of that, we also had Amazon Prime Day sales, so people were so busy with all these discounted cabs and filling up their game rooms, some news may have slipped through the cracks. More specifically, you may have missed an email that came out from NoReply@Arcade1Up.com that indicated they were looking for some fan feedback in a survey. And also, you got an opportunity if you filled out the survey to get a $25 off promo code. So guys, this doesn't indicate 100% that there's massive changes coming to Arcade1Up or their product line. Companies routinely do this. They'll send out market research surveys to their fan base to just get a touch with where they are with their core fans, if they're moving in the right direction or if they need to make changes in the future. But what I want to do, I'm going to go through the survey piece by piece, look at every question, and indicate what they could be looking for by that question itself. So I'm sure a lot of you have already seen the survey, but if this is your first time seeing it, let's go through this together. So the first question they ask is, how many of each type of Arcade1Up products do you own? Select from the drop-downs. And I'm going to be honest, I'm probably not the best person to bet on this. Where do you put in all of them? Well, for me, it's 10 plus. Head-to-head cabinets, I have 0. Projectorcades, I have 0. Countercades, I have 1. Partycade, I may have one on the way, but currently right now I have 0. Arcade1Up Junior, Infinity Game Table 0. Pinball, I have 1. I used to have 3. Couchcade, 0. Polaroid at home photo booth, I like it. And Giant Joystick, I have 2, but I don't like them. One thing you will not notice, I didn't see an option for a pub table, so I guess for the head-to-head cabinet, that's considered a pub table. I will put 1. Now, what my guess is here, that from this first question, they're trying to gauge what products are popular with the core fan base. A lot of times, like I said to you, I think they're trying to reach out to different market segments, financial segments, trying to find the right price point to bring new people in. They're throwing shit at the wall, and here maybe they're trying to, I don't know what the exact term is, but, really focus their resources on what the core demographic is looking for and maybe shed off some of the shit elsewhere. We know, like the Partycades, they use a 17-inch BOE monitor, and now we're at a shortage. So maybe if the Partycades aren't a popular product, they can save some of the resources, financial and material, those screens, to go into 3/4 scale products. That's an example. Moving down, which classification of Arcade1Up games would you like to see more of? So they're asking the question here, are the games mainly a problem? Is one of the reasons that you're not buying as much, if that's the case, because of the games? Or they're trying to indicate what are the most popular games and what should they focus on? Like for me, of course, I'm going to put retro classics, Pac-Man, Galaga, Centipede, Tempest, Star Wars, etc. first, because you guys know I've been fighting for it. It's like they completely forgot about the 80s games outside of the legacy line, with maybe one special one a year like we saw with Dragon's Lair, so I want to see more of that. Of course, I would put sports lower down the line. That's not for me. Fighting games, pretty popular. Beat 'em up games, I love beat 'em up games, but I understand the general population of fans don't. They find them to be one and done, so they don't have a lot of replayability, but I really like them. Shooting games are awesome. They definitely need more of those. Driving games as well. I think the problem with driving games is finding the right cabinet design. I like the stand-up, but I still would like to sit down on a racing game, just not on the floor like they did with the bench seat. And then we have pinball, which we haven't heard much about at all. So if you really like pinball, make sure you go in and fill that out. So right there, I just, again, think they're just trying to identify what titles should they be focusing on to really sell their product. Where is your Arcade1Up product currently showcased? So we've talked about this all the time. Functional furniture. I think they're trying to get from the core audience, where are these products going to be? Understanding mainly what kind of art do people want to see. Are you going to have them right in the middle of your living room, silver spoon style, or do you do what I do and you're building a home arcade in your basement? I don't know the actual implications of doing this, but maybe they're looking at what specific art they should put on their cabinets, or even what space and size would you go for your cabinet depending on the location maybe. Not 100% sure. How often do you play any Arcade1Up product? If you ask people that don't like me, I don't play any games because I'm not a real gamer, but I play it pretty much every day if I can. But I mean, it's hard with YouTube and life, especially with having a new baby. So, I still do play daily, but I don't really get a good jag like to go down to my arcade for a couple hours at a time like I'd like to. That's a few times per week. I don't know what the indication is there for why they're asking. I guess they're trying to get some feedback again on how often do you play. Maybe they're looking at upping the quality of the buttons, that they're concerned that maybe if this is something that's a continuous play type thing, because it's one of the things they mentioned, maybe there is some concern about durability of the product over the life cycle. Or maybe they're thinking maybe they could lessen the quality of their product if you're only going to use it a couple times, and if it's more of a decoration piece, the quality of the buttons, I don't know. I'm just spitballing here. Which of these descriptions best matches how you primarily use your Arcade1Up cabinets? I like to play my own during my free time. I have family and friends use it to spend time together. I like to entertain friends at home, and it's part of the fun. It is a home decor item statement piece. I would argue that it's all of these for me. I don't know why they're asking this specific question, but again, I think they're just really trying to understand their fan base and what they're going for. For me, when it comes to it's the home decor statement piece, I think they're trying to identify if it's worth it putting the money into it to go to the level of detail they did with cabinets like Tron, with cabinets like Dragon's Lair, and with cabinets like Star Wars. Like, if you look at the original design that they wanted to release with Dragon's Lair, they didn't even give a shit that it wasn't arcade accurate. They were just going to release it as like a regular think-up cab, but instead of that, they held off and they made the right cabinet that looks almost pretty identical to a recreation of the original in the 3/4 scale. And I think we have to be very clear with Arcade1Up that that's what we want. We're not just buying Dragon's Lair to play it. We can do that anywhere. We could do that on other multicades. We could do that on PCs, video game systems. There's lots of ways to play it. We buy your product because you're recreating the arcade, so stick to that. Are you planning on adding to your Arcade1Up collection? You betcha. But it depends on what games and how well they are done. Let's be clear about that. So it says yes or no, but there we go. What is your primary motivation when purchasing an Arcade1Up product? And this is a very important question. You're a fan of the game. Obviously, that's important. Adding to a collection, FOMO problems, you could add that in there. Nostalgia. One of the absolute biggest ones for me is nostalgia. If I don't have nostalgia, if the machine doesn't elicit nostalgia for me, I'm not going to buy it. Again, harping on that horrible Dragon's Lair we saw in the Florida store, if they had released that, I would have skipped Dragon's Lair 100% because it didn't elicit any nostalgia for me. It was just an Arcade1Up cabinet that had some random art on it that said Dragon's Lair. So the fact that they went out of their way to make it look like the original and elicit that nostalgia, the look and design, that's why I'm buying it. Special game feature, I don't know what they mean by that. Like, if it comes to the fact that it's a racing game and has a racing wheel, yeah, that's one of the reasons I bought Ridge Racer. I bought Ridge Racer because I kind of have started to get into racing games a lot, so the wheel did it. Limited time offer sale, of course, money off always helps. Scarcity of product, nobody is going to answer that question. Like, nobody buys something because of scarcity of product. I know it's the Nintendo model, and you scare people into buying it so they don't miss out, the FOMO aspect, but no one buys anything because of scarcity or scarcity of product. What has prevented you from purchasing Arcade1Up product in the last 6 months? No doy. Price. I mean, the price got jacked up so high. Like, I mean, you have to say that. Product quality, I think that's been a factor the last couple months. Like, there was a mistake with the way that they did the speakers. That was an issue. But now with going back to the TN monitors, especially with a really bad edge lit from one side, apparently TN monitor, it's going to be challenging, and people are going to be second guessing whether or not they buy a product. They're going to want to know ahead of time whether or not it has a TN or BOE monitor, or if it just has a shitty TN monitor. So that's going to be tough. Available income, and that's an honest one. I mean, with the price of these, they aren't, they're a luxury product. They're not a regular product. So that's going to be tough. Not interested in any of the new titles. And that's it for some people too. Like, I'm looking at what's been leaked, and a lot of them are real 90s type titles. It's not my jam specifically, so I might not be as amped up as other people to go buy this stuff. What is your age range? I don't want to say. What gender do you identify? I would be very surprised if it wasn't a heavily male-dominated base, but I could always be wrong. I'd be interested to see that topic and see who they really want to market to. I think everybody could play these and enjoy these. The arcade and video games are for everybody, so that'd be interesting. Household size, 4 now with the little youngster. State do you live in? I live in Canada. And how did you first hear about Arcade1Up? One I found very, very interesting on this list was, you'll notice, no YouTube. No credit to the YouTubers who I think are pushing this the most. For me, I wrote down other YouTube, and I didn't promote myself. I honestly promoted the person that I think really started my interest in this and got a lot of people interested in Arcade1Up. RGT85, when this product first came out, he was everywhere talking about it, how cool they were, and he's the reason I'm here today and as interested in Arcade1Up and talking about them like they do. How likely would you recommend Arcade1Up to a friend? I think that's pretty clear. Valid email, and do you want to hear about special deals? So that's it. That's the survey, guys. So like I said, pretty much your standard market research promotional survey. You're probably wondering why they're doing this, but we met Liv at the big event this past weekend. They're amping up direct to sales. So I think this is coming specifically from the direct sales department. They want to know their core, hardcore fan base a little bit better so they can better prepare their direct to sales offerings for these hardcore consumers. I think nothing's going to change with the mainstream market. We're going to get weird shit, Capcom, legacy cabinets with unique art on it, Pac-Man after Pac-Man. That stuff is going to stay the same. They're always going to try to sell to the mainstream because that's their cash cow. That's what brings in the money. But for our core fan base, this survey and the additional Liv is a really good sign that they want to hear from us. They want to hear specifically what we want, and they want to cater to us better because they know we're going to give them our money. So, it's great to fill out surveys like this, and it's great to do petitions online. We've got a great Qbert one going now, free Qbert, Release the Knocker. Someone just started an Afterburner one. These are both games that I think are badass. I think Arcade1Up would do incredible to release both these cabinets. but they might not be the cabinets that would normally get by on mainstream, although I can't understand how Q*bert's not one of those. So anyways, guys, let me know in the comments, did you fill out the survey from Arcade1Up? What do you think of it? Do you think that there's going to be a potential change to some of their product offerings in the near future? Maybe they'll cut out some of these, crappy, risque, throw shit at the wall titles to try to bring in new fan bases, collectorcades, consolecades, crapcades, or do you think that this is just base, market research and nothing's going to come of it? Anyways, guys, let me know in the comments down below. Thank you so very much for watching. This is Michael B. the Game Genie, and I'll talk to you next time.